Welcome back to Tribune Racing League Season 2, Tier 3. This is Round 2. We've got only 8 drivers today fighting out for pole position. This is the 18-minute qualifying session. And yeah, who's on track at the moment? I don't have any game audio at the moment, so I'll try and sort that out. Oh, there we go. So we are at the Netherlands circuit for round 2. We have 8 drivers. Blue Goggy 14, we're currently spectating now. He is the championship leader. He had a very good performance out in Bahrain last time. Currently in the Haas. About to start a lap right behind his teammate, Evan Overdrive. Probably going to get some dirty air here. And this Overdrive is blocking Blue Goggy just a little bit here. Ideally he should be getting out of the way, but not at the moment. So what you want to be doing on another qualifying lap, you want to be going as fast as you possibly can without any interruptions in front of you. He does still set purple sector 1 because no one else has been through that sector yet. And he'll stay on board with him through the second sector, very, very twisty. Comes onto the middle straight, second DRS zone of the lap, pushing all the way down to the old Audi curves as he easily do, braking at about 100 feet. Comes around to the final corner, brings it all the way to the exit wall. What time will it be? 1099. That puts him already 2/10 above Skeptics and about 3 seconds above Y-Boy Connor. At the moment we have Silver Tire coming across the line as well. It's 111.5, still a fair amount back on the leader of Blue Goggy. 1.5. Do we have anyone on the lap now? I don't think we do. Got 4 of the 8 drivers still in the pits, maybe choosing to go out on the medium compound tyre to go further on in the race, strategical advantage, maybe that's what they're looking for. Currently we have Silver Tag, and who's that? Is that Blue Goggy? Yes it is. I don't think that either of them are on lap, maybe Silver Tag is. Goes through the final corner, opens up the steering, puts all the power down, looking to the exit. Doesn't have much ERS left. He might be going in here. Nope, he's going to stay out. And he only goes minorly quicker, 2/10, which just solidifies his P3 position so far. Blue Goggy boxes for more fuel and maybe another set of soft compound tyres. We are meant to be having Fakey 10, Tier 2 driver alongside for commentary today, but I think he's having technical issues, so try and sort those out as soon as possible. So we have MMO Drive getting ready for his flying lap. He is currently second in the championship. Him and Blue Goggy are teammates, however they're both reserve drivers. So currently they're not actually meant to have a full-time seat here, yet they're still P1 and P2 in the constructors, which is a pretty amazing thing to do. As he comes onto the finish straight, he will start his lap. Diving into turn 1 of Tarzan, locks in second gear up to fourth with better traction out the corner. Sweeps to the left, then to the right for the sharp right-hander. Big locking up point here. But he puts the power down and gets out very, very cleanly. Lucen IX, normal tier 1, tier 2 commentator on the left there, letting him go. Round turn 7. Only a little lift there, maybe a touch of the brakes. And he sets a purple sector 1. And he goes invalid across the curb. That's his qualifying lap done. He's going to need to wait until he gets back across the line to start a new one. That's annoying for him, that's very unlucky. As this lap will not count as he breached the track limits, going slightly wide out of turn 7 now. Captain Man comes across the line, Alfa Romeo driver, what's he going to set? Nothing so far. Actually, that was his outlap. So now his proper lap begins. Through turn 1, sweeping first sector. Slightly cuts the track there. That's gonna be another invalid lap. Tier 3, you're gonna see more invalidations and maybe more incidents as they're trying to push as hard as they can to get noticed by the admins to be moved up into tier 2. Mainly the most action-packed races these are. We have Lucen IX starting his flying lap. First flying lap of this session. He's waited 8 minutes to do this. Number 87 on the side of that McLaren car. Comes out of turn 3. Pins the power as hard as he can through the sweeping first sector. About 190 through that corner. Down to 7th or 6th in this case. Sweeps through. Is he going to stay on the track? Yes, he is. Purple sector 1 for him. Pono is doing very well here, very well so far. Drops down to 3rd, sweeps to the right. You want to get a late apex here to maximise the traction out of this corner. Use a bit of the curb just to get the car turned down into the old Audi curves. Brakes to the 100-meter board. Purple sector 2 as well. This is looking like pole, and he goes a bit wide there. That's going to cost him some time. And now it depends if the first 2 sectors were good enough to counteract that mistake. 5th gear into the last corner, and he goes wide. That's another invalidated lap in this session. Wow, and actually Skeptics is retired, so the best he's going to be in this session is P2. Lucen comes back into the pits, maybe for a new set of tyres, we don't know. MMO Overdrive, he is not on a lap, he's just coasting around at the moment, trying to get heat into his tyres, trying to keep the engine at optimum temperature, and just preparing to push as hard as he can for the next lap. We've got Silver Trig as well. He was on a flying lap, you can see that on the bottom right of your screen. The number 0 in the middle of the little dashboard, that is what engine mode they're in. So 0 means they're saving, more likely on an out lap. 2 means they're pushing, more likely on a qualifying lap. Is MMO Overdrive gonna try another lap off the back of his old one? Yes, he is. 75% ERS, that should be enough for a whole lap of the Zandvoort circuit in the north of the Netherlands. Comes through the first sector. Turn 3, big lock-up spot. He's got a car that he's following, so that might provide a little bit of dirty air for him. Hopefully this mechanic can get out of the way on time. Might be a bit of an awkward position here. Who's that? That's OJB. Gets out nicely through turn 7, that's very good of him. Purple sector 1, looking like fastest lap so far, as long as he can keep hold of it through the 2nd and 3rd sector. Sweeps through the left-hander, uses the curb on the outside, opens the DRS, the flap at the back, just to give that extra 20 kilometers an hour down the straight. Brakes to the 100-meter board, gets purple sector 2. This is looking like the pole lap so far. Through the Audi curves, comes to the last 2 corners of the track, very cambered. Run to the outside, stays on track. This might be a pole lap. Runs as close to the pit wall as possible to get the shortest route to the corner. And that is pole by 7/10 of a second so far. We've got 7 minutes left, so there is still time for people to make a difference. We have OJB on a lap as well, coming around the turn 1, and he's had a big oversteer moment there. It's going to be hard for him to grab this lap back. Second gear, ideally you want to be going through there faster. Has he abandoned? We don't know. I think he's going to go for it. We also have Cat of Man coming around the last corner just to start his lap. Go back to OJB. Purple Sector 1, despite the incident, must have been through turn 3 to 7 very well. Running onto the curb, using the DRS. Into the Audi curves. Purple Sector 2, this could be another pole lap, or provisional pole lap at least. Stays on the track, goes through the last corner, very banked. He's going to go all the way to the outside, opens DRS, no ERS left, no energy left to burn, and he goes P5, 2.5 seconds off. Big disappointment for him, for OJB. We have MMA Drive just coming into the pits. Silver Tree probably going to come into the pits again this lap. Yes, he is. One more car out on track so far, which is Cat of Man. I think he's on a lap, and he's just invalidated. So frustrating on these tracks when you run over the white lines. The lap doesn't count. Boxes into the pit lane. OJB is retired, so he thinks he can do no better with that 5th place. At the moment, it is an Alpha Haas 1-2. Looking at the front 2 rows of the grid, this is great for their Constructors' Championship bid. 6 of the 8 drivers have set a lap. The last 2 might have invalidated or made a mistake on their lap, and they thought, you know what, I'm going to box, save my tyres, go for one final hell for leather lap at the end of the session. Try and invite Fake again. There is an engine being fired up, and that is the McLaren of Lucen IX, Alfa Romeo of Cat of Man. Lucen just letting Cat of Man go past there, bit wide, but obviously it doesn't matter. It's an out lap. This lap is just serving, just getting the drivers back round to the start-finish line where they can push as hard as they can for pole. But this time also has another purpose, just to get the car up to perfect temperature, make sure the tyres, the brakes, the engine, it's all working together, just to give you the best possible platform for these drivers. Cat of Man used to be a tier 2 driver last season, sorry. So he should be able to fight near the front this season. Tier 3 is brand new for TRL, so it's interesting to see what kind of pace these guys pull as he starts his lap into the turn 1 of Tarzan, avoiding the curb. It grips you in quite a lot there, you just don't want to hit it, otherwise it might spin you round. Lots of different lines into this turn 3, but it gets the throttle pin. That's one of the hardest things to do, especially with no traction controls, to get the throttle down. Goes into turn 7, it's a wide sweeping right-hander, uses the curb on the exit. He wants to clip the curb of turn 8 just to get the car turned in. He goes purple sector 1. This could be a very, very good lap, very promising lap from him. Turn 10. and to get throttle pinned on the exit. 10, 11 and 12. 11 is very bumpy inside. It can very easily unsettle the car and make it spin. He's also got purple sector too, so this could be, like I said before, a very, very good lap. Doesn't run wide in the exit, run down to the line. What's it going to be? That's a 1010, I think. 110.9. As we see, Lucen IX set a 110.7. That's enough for 4th place. Anyone else on the lap? Silver Trig is. He's just about to start his lap, so this will be his last chance to go fastest. Silver Trig is 6th in the championship, finishing 6th in Bahrain. First race in the league. Trying to make as good of an impression as he can. He gets a little oversteer moment coming out of, I think that was turn 9. Going onto the back straight, down to the Audi curves. Last time in this qualifying session, this is the fastest these cars will go through the whole evening. So a very different experience to the race pace. Oh, he runs wide and he spins. And that's he's out. He is crashed. Oh, he's not out. But he's got major front wing damage and he won't be able to set another lap in that state. Blue Goggy is pushing into the last sector. Will he be able to snatch pole provisionally from his teammate Overdrive, who currently is on a lap as well? Sets the fastest sector 1. Blue Goggy crosses the line. It's only a 109.5. So unless Lucen IX, who is in the box, I think Overdrive's got pole here. Purple sector 2 as well. And he almost rubbed it into his teammate's face. He gets a big oversteer moment coming out of turn 12. Turn 13. Keeps it on the track. Down into the banking of turn 14. 14. Straight lines to the end of the lap. And I think that was a 109 flat. So Overdrive takes a pretty commanding pole. TRL Season 2, Tier 2. Tier 3, round 2, by 0.5 of a second. Again, no, not again. Today it's a Haas 1-2, locking out the front row of the grid. Best seats in the house for the start of the race. Skeptics in the Williams gets P3, but 1.1 seconds off Overdrive in the Haas. Lucen IX 1.6 seconds off, but still starts P4. Silver Trig P5 with a 110.8. P6, Cat of Man, 110.9. 7th, OGB with a 111.9. White Boy Connor in 7th. So now the drivers will be choosing their fuel loads, choosing their strategy for the coming race. They should all be starting on the soft compound tyres, I assume, unless someone tried on the mediums. Looks like they're all on the softs. Need to get the spectator menu back up. Detail, tyres. Everyone's on softs, but the Idiom 606, the Idiom 606, who's on the medium compound tyre. Now the medium can probably go to about lap 16, 17 here, but he'll still need to be fitting the hard compound tyre to get to the end, unless he does a mega stint on those mediums. Just trying to get Ashton 10 in the lobby. He has missed the pretty commanding qualifying session led by MM Overdrive in the Haas. He's currently second in the championship. However, he won the race on track last week but got demoted to P2 due to penalties. Like you saw in the qualifying session, going off track makes the track map on the right hand side go red. That means they've invalidated the lap, and that also has an effect in the race. So if they go off track and gain an advantage, the game will automatically give them a warning. 3 warnings, you get a 3-second time penalty. In my opinion, it's so much more worth it if you lose a 10th staying on the track than lose 3 seconds at the end of the race because you've gained a 10th going off. These drivers will have to be wary of that. The main points of track limits are turn 7 at the end of the first sector and the last corner, the last 2 corners. As the drivers form up on the grid, hopefully all their tyres are up to temperature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are underway for Tier 3 in Zandvoort. Anyway, gets a good start, covers off his teammate into turn 1. Got a Ferrari going round the outside, Lucien IX there. 2 McLarens forming through turn 3. Another Ferrari diving in the background. And the Overdrive is building a good gap to his teammate, already 7/10 in the first sector. As you can see, the cars are a lot more, they're not as responsive in the race. That's because of the heavy loads of fuel they're carrying to make it all through for 36 laps. But it's still a Haas 1-2 coming through the second sector. And there have been position changes. Silver Trig goes up 2, so does OGB up 2. Skeptics goes down 5. He may have had an incident in the first corner. Y-Boy Connor goes up 1. Predicted pit stop strategy then. Soft to lap 11 to 13, then all the way to the end on the hard compound tyre. That's my strategy of choice. Anyway. Oh, big moment on the grass for Blue Goggy there. Tries to stay within 1 second of his teammate and an overdrive. If you manage to stay within that 1 second, then you can activate the DRS system along the main straight and the middle straight. This opens the flap in the rear wing that is currently shut, and that gives you an extra 20 kilometers an hour down the straights, which he will be trying to use to his advantage to overtake an overdrive. The leaderboard has sorted itself out now, and you can see the gap that the 2 Haas have built. They're going to be trying to use each other's slipstream just to pull away from the rest of the pack. Silver Trig is already 2.5 seconds down. Another important thing to look at is the battery percentage. So on the bottom right, you can see that Blue Goggles have 50% battery. If he goes under 20%, then it will start charging automatically. That means a reduction in top straight line speed as MMO Drive sets the fastest lap. However, Blue Goggy is in the DRS. That means the Haas pair will be pulling away quite significantly from Silver Trig. But I think Blue Gold could smell an overtake here for P1. Two McLarens relatively close to the Ferrari of Lewis and OJB. The gap is spreading out quite evenly at the moment, with the Racing Point and the Williams following up. I think the Williams has disconnected. Yes, he has. We'll go back to the fight at the front because you've got Blue Goggy only on 22% battery and MM Overdrive is on 79%. MM Overdrive is going to have so much more to defend with. Yes, Blue Goggy's pushing in the first few laps, but that might all be undone later on. And there's been a yellow flag in Sector 2. Wyboy Connor looks to have spun there and drops down to P8. That's probably ruined his progress. I seem to remember that he had a good start, and that's all been undone, but we need to go back to the fight at the front. Blue Goggy closely following MM Overdrive here. 2 tenths away. Look at the gap they built out to Silver Trig. Only over 3.5 seconds at the moment. They seem to be looking like they're going to have a comfortable race. Seems like Blue Goggy is favouring the later apex method, better exits of the corner for sacrificing entry, gains of time back in the straights. Dropped up 7.5 tenths back now. Maybe he's trying to conserve the RS, although he's only on 25% with MM Overdrive on 75%. Again, that is going to be vital towards the end of the race, as MM Overdrive is going to have a lot more to defend with. As he goes off track there, that might have been a warning. No drivers having penalties yet, but they keep running wide for those last 2 corners. There might be some soon. Blue Goggy closing about 3 tenths into that one corner just with the power of the DRS. Let's check up on the battle between Silver Trig and Lucent IX. Only 6 tenths separate them. Silver Trig on 9% of ERS. Now, automatically when you're under kind of 20%, he will be charging now. He'll be the engine, the whole powertrain will be in recovery mode just to get that number as high as possible. He's gone off track there. That's given Lucent IX more or less of a gap to catch up on 60% ERS, so he will be on the attack down those straights. He engages overtake mode. Probably a bit too far back for a move. He is into 3rd gear, down to 2nd just for the rotation. Traction control working away there with these tier 3 drivers. Is he going to challenge onto this straight? Silver Trig is using all of his overtake mode available, 5% remaining in the battery. However, Lucent has already used 30% on that lap just to keep up. It seems like we have about 4 groups of 2 kind of breaking away and fighting each other in this race. That's what it seems like, at least. Maybe they will close up towards the end. Safety car could definitely change this race. And the gap seems to be fairly similar towards the front. 5 tenths between the 2 Haas, who are just pulling away like by so much time from the McLaren and Ferrari. It seems like Blue Goggy has actually saved his overtake mode quite a lot, so it's going to be a lot easier for him to save, and he's going to have more deployment in the straights now. He's a bit too far back to go from the into turn 1 of Tarzan. Only 3 tenths. At the moment, if Blue Goggy is running in the rich mix, and there's been a yellow flag, OJB's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not helpful at all for him. Boxing for hards on lap 7, he will probably have to box again, maybe for softs towards lap 30. He could be very, very fast. He could be one to watch maybe at the end of the race, you never know. The gap between Blue Goggy and MM Overdrive, as OJB leaves this session, he believes that that 5-second time penalty, it isn't worth racing with it, he should just quit. Very demoralising, these penalties. Very harsh system in this game. But the two at the front already gained like over a second in one lap on the rest. They really isn't the TRL S2 advantage. But Blue Goggy is a lot closer to MM Overdrive on this lap. Look behind from MM Overdrive's perspective. No lunge from Goggy. Just going to stay as close to that rear wing as he possibly can. Very close to turn 3. Lucen IX is right on the back of Silver Trig. Silver Trig goes in a little bit deep to turn 3, but through this middle sector until about turn 9 or 10, there just aren't any overtaking moves, which is a bit of a shame. However, it's a very fun circuit, so these drivers should be enjoying themselves a lot. We will try and invite Ashton again, see what happens. Lucen IX gets a very good exit through there. He should be punching the overtake right now, going for the Audi curve, going through the Audi curves, but he lifts. Just make sure he's in a good position for the next straight. As Y-Boy Connor is the first driver to get a 3-second time penalty, going across the track limits more than 3 times and gaining an advantage. It's going to be interesting to see if any drivers can hold off that those penalties. Gap stays the same between Overdrive and Goggy here. At the moment, it doesn't seem like Goggy has a response to Overdrive's pace. He seems like the faster driver at the moment. But still, despite that, doesn't have the pace to get around the other Haas driver. So no currently running driver has made a pit stop yet. It'll be interesting to see when they do and for what tyre that is. So the pair of the McLaren and the Ferrari get very, very close into the last corner, the last 2 corners. Lucen's going to open the DRS here. He has a lot more overtake mode, but still a little bit too far back to challenge into Tarzan. And Blue Goggy has boxed. There's been a safety car deployed. Y-Boy Connor has retired. And who's that in the pit? It's Blue Goggy. He will most likely jump his teammate of MM Overdrive, as he already pitted when the safety car came out. He needs to get around that safety car. There he goes. Now this will be a chain reaction of pit stops. So Cat of Man also pits for the hard compound tyre. All these drivers pitting on the hards. They're going to try and go to the end of the race on this set. So it's going to be a straight race to the finish. Skeptics also bits, but I think that's his AI. Yeah, that's his AI driver. It's a shame to see that he's retired. But Overdrive on those softs, you can see in the front left, there are 2 different colours on the inside and outside. That shows the wear that they've been through. So he will definitely be stopping this lap, unless something... yeah, he definitely should be stopping this lap, no question. It's going to be interesting actually to see where Overdrive and Goggy come out in comparison, because they could be quite close together. Depends how fast Goggy has been going on this in-lap to collect the safety car Let's watch Overdrive stop. Seems fairly clean, got the clutch bite away quite well. It's out of the pits now, and he's retained the lead of the race. Very, very lucky there from Overdrive. Crosses the pit lane, exit, white line. Probably a warning for that. Needs to be careful of the safety car on the left hand side, who is waiting to collect him. There it is. And it remains a Haas 1-2. Actually, all of the positions of the top 5, top 6 have remained the same. We might be able to actually have a live interview with Lucen IX just to see how he is doing and what his views on the rest of the race are. I'll invite him. He might join, he might not. We never know. I'm just riding on call with him at the moment. See, Silver Trig. Ah, he has joined. Hello, Connor. Remember to include your audio. That is okay. You alright? Yeah, good. First commentating experience. It's been okay so far. But yeah, more importantly, how are you? How's the race been so far? As Cat Man gets a 5-second time penalty for collision on the safety car. He's actually spun and lost half of his wing. He will need to box again. Yeah, it's been a good battle to watch, definitely. Yeah, good respect between the two of you, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've just got the stream next to me. I don't think you've actually included your audio, or at least we can't hear you. If you can just make sure you can do that. Going on there, but yeah, I think just good luck for the rest of the race. Obviously, you want to try and clear Silver Trig, just so you can maybe have a crack at definitely at the podium and maybe at the 2 Haas's if you have the pace. So cool. Thank you very much for dropping in, and good luck for the rest of the race. Cheers. So that was Lucen IX. Apparently we could not hear him on the stream, but he was essentially saying that him and Silver Trig have been having a very good battle. They've been leaving each other a lot of room, which is great to see, especially in Tier 3. Good respect between the two drivers. Hopefully he can clear him, go for that podium, and go for the 2 Haas's. Interestingly, the Idiont, but he's on the medium compound tyre, so he is looking to go maybe to lap 16 or 17, maybe as far as lap 21 or 22, and then box up to the soft compound tyre, maybe just go for the hard compound tyre later. He's the only one who hasn't stopped yet, so everyone in front of him technically should be faster on that fresh hard compound tyre. But we will have to see, as I believe the safety car will be coming in this lap. Mercedes AMG GTS. leading the field at the moment. However, he's got 5 cars behind him, 5 active cars behind him, ready to get back underway as race control decides that safety car will be in this lap. This is Overdrive's chance to make sure his tyres are completely up to temperature. Look how close the pack is behind him. He gets a little nudge from his teammate, and that gives them both a 5-second time penalty. That's a big development in this race. Both Haas have penalties and might be removed towards the end of the race, but for now they're going to be 5 seconds down. And Overdrive decides to pin it now with the overtake mode on. All 5 drivers are very close to each other. Silver Trig looks to the inside of Blue Goggy but doesn't make a move. Little oversteer moment for Overdrive. That's right on board with Lucen, just so he can see what's going on. He goes down the inside of Silver Trig and gets a little tap and goes into the wall. A little chip of the front wing has fallen off. That's a big shame for him. He'll need to box again for a new front wing. Silver Trig actually got affected by that as well. He's dropped behind the racing point. Cat of Man, he's on the brand new set of soft compound tyres. He will be very fast in this phase of the Grand Prix. He'll be pushing towards the Haas's very quickly. Giving the freshest, softest compounded tyre. And Blue Goggy crosses over that turn 11, which means he gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. This is very big. Go to the penalties and you can see the 2 5-second penalties for the Haas drivers, but then you see with Blue Goggy 8 seconds. That's an extra 3 seconds because of the invalidations. At the moment, it is advantage Overdrive. Up to Goggy now. If he can get past Overdrive and pull a 3 seconds gap out, then that's the only way he can win. The Overdrive seems to be managing this 1 second gap very well up front. Cat of Man has been gaining slightly through this first and second sector. He's within DRS range, so when just out of DRS range actually, but next lap DRS will be enabled, and that little flap in the back of the rear wing will open, giving them the extra 20 kilometers an hour down the straight. This allows overtaking to be a lot easier, making for better racing. Is Lucen IX boxed? Yes, he has, for medium compound tyres. He's actually still racing, so that's fair enough to him. Overdrive's just the fastest lap of the race. This is really showing his pace on the harder compound tyres. Blue Goggy is really going to have to pull something out of the bag here to pull up to Overdrive and overtake. Cat of Man seems to be dropping off on those soft compound tyres. Maybe he's burnt them out already. Which would be quite a poor strategy call from him. He's staying on the podium, and that's a spin. That is Blue Goggy round. Has he got damage? Yes, he has. That has completely ruined his race. Wow. He's going to have to box for maybe more mediums or more hards. That's completely ruined the Haas driver's race. They could have worked together. Well, it wasn't necessarily Overdrive's fault. Maybe Goggy was just pushing a little bit too hard. Into that turn 7, very tricky corner to get right. That's a very big shame for him. He was on for at least a P2, maybe even a P1 if he could push a little bit harder but more efficiently as well. And now P2 falls to Cat of Man and P3 to Silver Trig. So yeah, Blue Goggy boxes now, and the Idiont also has to box with a 5-second time penalty. Same with Blue Goggy, serves his 5-second time penalty in the pits. boxes for a new front wing, medium tyres, and here's away. Both come out in tandem. This is very interesting. As you can see, you have Goggy on the mediums and the Idiont, the Racing Point, on the hards. It's going to be interesting to see if the mediums will die out in the middle of the race, or in the middle of this stint, and the hards take over. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the pace, it shows. So, and we know from earlier on in this race that the Blue Goggy definitely has pace, as MMO Drive has more pace, setting the fastest lap of the race on those hard compound tyres. Cat of Man is only falling away from the lead, so he's going to have to box again at least one more time. He's maybe seen the best of those soft compound tyres. They look still fairly fresh. He's not using much of his overtake mode though. Maybe saving it towards the end, for the end of the race. Stays on track there. And on penalties, it is still only 2 people that have 3-second time penalties for invalidating their laps. Blue Goggy and the Racing Point both have 3 seconds. That means 3 or more invalidations. You see Cat of Man getting very, very a big overstay moment on the exit of that corner. Comes around onto the pit straight. And he sets a 1:14.4, 1.1 off his personal best, and that seems to be a lot slower than MM Overdrive was setting in the 1:12s. So Overdrive is very much in the driving seat for this race. He seems to be setting very, very good lap times in comparison to the whole field. He is the fastest car on track as it stands on those hard compound tyres. He just needs to keep them in good condition towards the end of the race. Blue Goggy just sets the fastest lap on those fresh mediums. He might be burning them out a little bit too early. Maybe he should just slow down a little bit and make sure the tyres last to the end of the race. Because at the end of this race, those medium compound tyres will definitely be in puncture territory. Which would mean he would lose even more positions than he already has. So as we can see from the leaderboard, position changes. Cat of Man's gone up 4, however he will have to box again for another set of tyres because they will not last to the end. Silver Trig's gone up 2, Skeptic's gone down 1, even though he's not actually racing, his AI driver is. Well, I think it is. Yep, you can see as it's ghosted out. OJB up 2, Lucen down 2. Have a Lucen, they are quite close together, even though OJB isn't actually racing, as you can see from the ghosted McLaren. Blue Goggy down 5, however he's closed the gap to Lucen very, very considerably in the last few laps. MMO Drive sets the fastest lap again, playing almost fastest lap tennis, the two horses. And the Racing Point in last, going up 1, is still active in this race. On the hard compound tyres, he will be going to the end. But let's see, as Lucen Ix comes across the line, what lap time he is doing. And we'll compare that to Blue Goggy and see how fast the horse will be gaining. A 1:51 in comparison to the horses Didn't actually show up there. That's annoying. I'll check on the race director. 1:12.7. So that's a solid 2 seconds a lap. 1.5 seconds a lap difference. So as he goes round the outside of the ghosted OJB in the McLaren, he should be within striking distance of Lucen IX within 2, maybe 3 laps if he keeps his pace up. However, those mediums it'll be a stretch where it goes to the end, and he's binned it. He's put it in the wall. Second time at that corner. All of the progress that he's just made will be undone. And I think that's curtains for his race. As you can see on the front left of his front wing, no end plate, and he's lost a few wing vanes as well when strakes. That constitutes one more pit stop at least, just to get the front wing replaced, as you lose exponential amounts of time without it. That is a big shame for Blue Goggy. The championship leader, should have been going for a P2, maybe even a P1 this race. Boxes, probably going to put on another set of mediums, another set of hards if he has any mediums left. That is. The racing point goes past. Blue Goggy was only half a second off the lead, and now he is plumb last. Onto soft compound tyres. He believes they can go 13 laps. He has been lapped by his teammate. That's incredible. Very unlucky from Blue Goggy. Seems like he was having maybe setup issues into turn 7. Maybe the back was stepping out. Gets a bit of a tank slap on. He is in plumb last by 14 seconds at the moment. So he needs to put in the stint even to get P7 here. The soft compound tyres probably indicating that he wants to go for fastest lap of the race. Additional 1 point for the fastest lap. That 1 point could always matter further down the line. But at this stage in the race, it gets a big oversteer moment again. The rear of that car is not happy. It is not stable. Despite the grippiest tyre being fitted onto that car, it's still stepping out all over the place. Goes wide. That'll be another warning probably. That's a massive shame for Blue Goggy, leading the championship. And as it stands, Overdrive would be in first position in the championship. He would overtake Blue Goggy in the standings. OJB gets past the abandoned Williams. Wait, there is a yellow flag, and that is Blue Goggy again for the 3rd time into the wall. Is that more front wing damage? Hopefully we'll get off this camera shot. Yes, it's the front left again. More front wing damage for Blue Goggy. He has had a wretched second half of this race. It was looking so promising at the start. And that 3-second penalty was the start of the downward spiral for him. He's going to have to let the Ferrari go. He's under blue flag conditions. Cat of Man gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. On the medium tyres now, he will be hunting down Silver Trig on the hards till the end of the race. Fastest laps at the moment, MMA Drive on 1:12.2, Silver Trig on 1:13.4, Cat of Man 1:13.2, so faster than Silver Trig. Hopefully with those mediums he can catch up and provide an entertaining race. As Blue Goggy boxes, Lucen IX on 1:13.7, Skeptics, OJB, and yeah, Skeptics and OJB aren't actually racing, and the racing point is on 1:15.7. A new front wing gets fitted to the Haas car. That pit crew is definitely earning their way today. He's made, how many pit stops has he made? 4. it shows how quickly things can change. Overdrive dispatching the Racing Point, who is now retired, and he's actually lapping. So as you can see, gaps to the leader, 18 seconds between first and second, 28 seconds between first and third. Lucinax is 43 seconds down. Skeptics and OJB aren't racing, obviously, and a Racing Point for that matter. Blue Goggy is the only car below those three that's still actually racing, I presume. Yeah, he still is. That's another invalid lap time for him. He's on the soft compound tyre. Will he set the fastest lap here? No. I don't know what's happened on that lap, but sets for purple, set for 3. So does have pace, just depends whether those tyres will last. Overdrive through the Audi curves again. Another lap in the lead. He has led every single lap in this Grand Prix. If he manages to get the fastest lap, then he will complete a Grand Slam, which I believe will be the first Tier 3 Grand Slam ever in history, in TRL history. Can't remember off the top of my head if there have been any other Grand Slams in any other tiers, but it'll be a pretty amazing achievement for the Haas driver if he can pull that off. At the moment we have no close on-track battles. The smallest gap between drivers that are actually driving is 10 seconds between Catafman and Silver Trig. 8 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. Overdrive. His mindset will be, I've done the hard work, I've built the gap. All I need to do is just keep the tyre wear as low as possible. Blue Goggy finally sets his fastest lap on those soft compound tyres. He will be getting an extra point providing he finishes the race in the top 10, considering there are only 9 drivers currently still in. Shouldn't be too hard of an achievement as the Racing Point has spun into the wall. If this brings out a safety car, that would be very, very influential in the rest of this race. It doesn't look as if it will. He's lost the whole front wing though, so he's going to have to box again. See the understeer. No front wing on the front of that Racing Point. Silver Trig goes past. The understeer with no wing is immense on these cars. They rely so much on the downforce to keep them planted to the road, to provide them with the turn-in. Overdrive gets his first penalty of the race, but at the moment that does not matter at all. That 5 seconds he picked up under the safety car can and will most likely be removed. So he's only sitting on 3 seconds. Unless Silver Trig can gain 15 seconds, then it is of no worry to him at all. Silver Trig just seems to be driving his own race there. 3/10 up on his personal best in the first sector. You can see on the top right hand side of your screen. And it seems like Cat of Man is gaining on him, but only minorly. Not as much as I would have expected on those fresh medium compound tyres. Whether it's going to come down to the tyre wear at the end of the race, as the Racing Point Idiont has retired and the safety car has been called out. This is massive for this race, as the Alfa Romeo stays out, but Silver Trig comes in for medium compound tyres. He will be going to the end on that set, and he may. Well, this is amazing. This has brought everyone back into play. Blue Goggy might have a potential chance at a podium because he's shown his pace through the whole race. Just it's about the mistakes he's been making as well. Really set him back. This has been a big lifeline for the likes of Lucinax Silver Trig and Catamount. It's been a big lifeline for everyone but MM Overdrive. He will be very upset with that. All of his hard work's been undone. And he currently has the extra 5 seconds. It depends, will he box under this safety car? Honestly, I think he'd be a fool not to. Does that Haas car pull to the right hand side? Yes, it does. Into the pits. I think he will be putting on the soft compound tyre to go to the end of this race. The Haas crew out once again to service that car. 5-second time penalty will be served now. And off go those hard compound tyres, on go those soft compound tyres, and actually the wing gets replaced as well. So all that time MM Overdrive is running with wing damage. That's incredible. So that's about a 13-second pit stop, but he has still come out a comfortable amount of time in front of Cat of Man. This has spiced the whole race up completely. Fakey 10 is in the party, but I don't know if he is able to speak. Hopefully he will be able to join us for the last 6 laps of this race that had a bit of a boring patch. Then the safety car came out and another bit of a boring patch, but then this safety car has just shook the whole grid up, potentially. It's all going to be down to the pace at the end of the race. So you have MM Overdrive on brand new softer compound tyres. He will be the fastest car on the track at the moment. However, that 3-second time penalty will be weighing him down a little bit. Cat of Man stays on his mediums, however. I think he could box with softs and go for and only drop 1 position. However, he does have a 3-second time penalty along with MM Overdrive. Silver Trig has gone onto the medium compound tyre. That's probably because he has no more softs to burn. For the race, you only get a certain amount of soft compound tyres, and he's probably used all of them, so he thought, you know what, better option is to go medium and know that my tyres will not burn up towards the end of the race. Lucen IX has gone onto the soft compound tyre as well. He will be very fast, and especially as he has no penalties, he could be potentially looking at a win actually. Blue Goggy gets another 3-second time penalty under the safety car. So 6 seconds of penalties. The prospect of maybe a comeback might have gone now. With those 6 seconds, he has the most of the whole field. He's caught up to the back of the top 3, but as he was lapped, he should be able to overtake them and rejoin the back of the train at some point. Whether that happens or not, I don't know for certain. It will surely be a big upset if he can't. And he has to suffer behind those 3 cars and know that he's a lap behind still. This is going to be a 5-lap sprint race to the end of the session. To the end of the race, just to see who will win this one. At the moment, if I was to put money on a winner, it would definitely be MM Overdrive. Despite that 3-second time penalty, he's on the freshest tyres out of everyone, other than his teammate, but his teammate is obviously a lap down, and with 6 seconds. And honestly, he has dominated this, both qualifying and the race. No question about it. He's definitely my driver of the day as well. Safety car is in this lap. That's quite a late call. We'll look behind from MM Overdrive to all the other drivers. If they make contact under the safety car, they will receive a 5-second time penalty, which can only be served under the safety car, under the in the pit stops. And Blue Goggy does exactly that. He's got a whole host of penalties now with 11 seconds. A little bit on the grass from MM Overdrive. When will he go? Now, he will jump now. Cat Man doesn't get the best restart. He was looking to be okay. Will he go down the inside? No, he won't. There's a bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Haas. Blue Goggy makes it up into second place on track, but he's indeed 7th because of him being lapped. MM Overdrive seems to be making a break for it already. Catalan in the 7-lap-old mediums is already in P2, but already dropping back from the overdrive motor. Lucen IX should be on the offensive here. He's on the softest tyres from second to third, and he has a big understeer moment into turn 8 now. To turn 9, sorry. And importantly, Silver Trig has lost his ERS for the rest of the lap. He's used too much of it. He's depleted the stores. Lucen may be able to gain a little bit in these last few corners, but importantly, Overdrive comes over the line 2.5 seconds in front of Catofman with a purple sector 3 no less. His teammate Blue Goggy is behind just as they were in the first stint of this race. However, it will not matter. Blue Goggy had those 2 spins and 2 extra pit stops for a new front wing, which ruined his race. I'm actually been very impressed. Oh, there's a yellow flag, and that is Goggy again at turn 7. That's the 3rd time. That was Commentator's curse. Honestly, that's such a shame for him. I do feel for him. I know the feeling of having a horrible setup and 3 spins and 3 turns of wing damage, and he's retired. I brought out the safety car again. That's incredible. 3 laps to go and a safety car has been called. That, I actually can't believe that. Overdrive, he stays out. Will anyone box now? Cataplan fakes it. No one boxes. They will stay like this until the end. No, I am wrong. OJB boxes. I think he's joined back, so this is actually him driving. He goes into the soft compound tyres. He has, well, assuming this, he only has a 5-second time penalty. Yep, he only had a 5-second time penalty, so he is on a clean slate. If he can stay within 3 seconds of Overdrive and Catofman, he will gain 2 positions. Another safety car, 2 laps to go. It will most likely come in again. And Silver Trig gets a 5-second time penalty. A little bit of contact on the safety car that will most likely be removed after the end of the race. He will open a ticket, explain to the stewards that probably wasn't his fault. Just a little tap, and the game's coding gave him a 5-second time penalty when it didn't need to. Safety car in this lap for the 3rd time this race. Overdrive will get his tyres, get his engine all up to optimal temperature, back the pack up, and it's a 2-lap sprint to the finish. OJB, will he catch up to the back of the pack in time? He just about will. This is key for him because he is on the freshest tyres of the bunch, or the newly put on tyres. But Overdrive makes the jump now, and look at Catofman. He's so close next to him. We're going to go side by side into Tarzan. Around the outside, he tries, goes for the switchback move, but those medium compound tyres will be putting out nowhere near as much grip as the softs of Overdrive. There's a little bit of carbon fibre flying around there. Who was that? I think it was Lucen IX's front wing. He was looking so promising for a podium finish. And I think that chance is gone. Overdrive leads by 7/10. Catofman has a 3-second time penalty for running wide. And that pushes him up to 11 seconds worth of penalties. That's pretty much put the nail in the coffin for his win chances now, and maybe his podium chances as well, as all drivers are really bunched up within within 4 seconds, covers the whole field, so he will be clung last. But MM Overdrive leads over the line, and there's been a yellow sector 3. What's happened here? Is Lucen retired? No? Just the purple sector, yellow sector 3. No, no. At the moment, MM Overdrive will not get his Grand Slam due to his teammate Blue Doggy, who has already retired, having the fastest lap by only 0.02 of a second. He will be pushing on this last lap because I know he wants that Grand Slam, and I think he knows right now what he will be getting, what he's done. He wants that fastest lap to brag, just to show that he is. I can hear you. It's the last 3 quarters. It's the last 4 quarters. Yeah. But Blue Goggy, he has absolutely dominated this race. He's done everything he needed to. And he comes across the line. He wins TRL Tier 3. And he gets the fastest lap. Grand Slam for MM Overdrive. What a race. There's been some action behind. OJB goes up to P3 provisionally. I don't know where that final position was. And we are finished. We have finished. OJB gets driver of the day. Really came back in those last few laps to pick up P3 when he was looking like he was going to finish in P6. Brilliant race. Wait, Ashton, can you hear me? As we wait for the podium ceremony to begin. Holds the trophy aloft. Absolute domination from the Haas driver there. Ferrari and McLaren also picking up podiums. So that's an all-British podium as well. You'll love to see it. That will push OBJ up the standings a lot, as well as Silver. And the final results are MM Overdrive with the most dominant race I've seen in a long time. P1, P2 Silver, P3 Lucen IX. That was Lucen on the podium, not OJB. Well done to Connor. Really pulled it back in the last few laps there. OJB 4th, Catapman 5th, Skeptic 6th, Blue Goggy 7th with very hard race. Probably setup problems. The Idiont P8 and Y-Boy Connor P9. The McLaren's there putting in a major shift. Maybe it's really going to push them up, the constructors. If I can, I will try and get them in a lobby, in a party, so we can talk to them about the race they've just completed. So invite the top 3 drivers to the chat. Lucen has joined. We'll just wait to see if anyone else will join. Just invite them one more time, just to make sure. There we go, MM Overdrive has joined the party. So guys, I just want to remind you, if you can, make sure to include your audio so everyone watching, all 3 people can hear you. As Overdrive is still connecting, we'll start with you, Lucen, Connor. It wasn't looking great until the last safety car.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Really, really pulled you out the gutter there. But well done to hang on. No penalties as well. Was that? No penalties through the whole race?
Uh, First one out of a while, I would say.
Yeah.
But it was a
Yeah,
great
definitely.
drive, of course. Off the restart, I don't know if I got brake checked, but I think
I saw
Silver,
the little bit of carbon fibre flying up from the front
I
wing.
think Silvertree kept on going very late into a lot of corners, and
Hmm.
that's what happened on the second to last lap. He gave me wing damage, which caused me to go on the
Yeah.
gravel. Then I had
Hmm.
Oliver obviously in front of me, but I don't know how I got P3 because Oliver looked like he actually was in front of me, but he got
Yeah.
P4, which is still good.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'm not reporting of Silvertree for late brake check, and I can learn
Yeah,
from it because it is racing at the end of the day, but it was a bit
exactly.
annoying, but I don't really.
And obviously, yeah, obviously a great points haul for the McLaren team today. P3 and P4, if my maths is correct. That is 27 points you're bringing back to Woking.
Yep,
Big, big shift from you boys.
thank you.
Hopefully that's going to push you up
Yep,
as an ex-McLaren driver. It's good to see.
yeah.
Now, Overdrive, if you can make sure to include your audio so everyone on the stream can listen, can hear you. If you can hear me, then I just want to say well done. That was one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen from a league racer. Grand Slam. Yeah, I don't think he can hear me. But yeah, that's a bit annoying. But he is still in the party. So I think that effectively rounds off Tier 3 Round 2 at Zandvoort. It was a great race, very, very exciting with that last safety car. It shook up the whole pack quite a lot. And Overdrive absolutely dominated. He's just invited me to a party, so I can see if I'll see if I can talk to him. Hello. If you can hear me, just try and include your audio. No, he can't do it, which is a shame. Would have been great to hear from him. But a Grand Slam, what a race from him. And yeah, that will round off Tier 3 Round 2 of TRL